Welcome to Hawks and Bushcraft. Today I want to talk to you about your freedom, especially freedom in the outdoors. Uh, what kind of brings this up is, a couple years back I was bow hunting out in the desert here in Oregon, and walking along, and man, I could use a nap. And I look, and there's a juniper tree, and the ground was all nice and soft, all that kind of volcanic ash, sand stuff, and I thought, I'm going to take a nap. And so I did. I sat down and I took a nap. And I thought to myself when I woke up, I thought, that's probably the most free I've ever been. Is when I sat down and take that nap in that desert. Not necessarily because it was anything special. It's just I didn't have my boss there tell me I couldn't take a nap. I didn't have someone there on Facebook tell me I was doing it wrong. I did what I wanted, and it was nice. And so what I want to kind of expand on is, to me that's kind of the definition of freedom, is this idea that we can have a spot where we can go do what we want, within reason. I'm not going to burn the forest down or anything, but I can go recreate and kind of set my own hours and do my own thing. And I think that's part of what bushcraft and hunting and fishing and all that stuff is all about, is being able to do our own thing on our own clock. We don't have to punch a clock at 7 a.m. and punch out and come home, and you don't have the routine. I mean, there's routine, but it's your choice to be in that routine, and that's what really makes it freedom. And Republicans and Democrats recently, there's this big idea that we can't afford public lands, and that we want to sell it to the highest bidder, sell it to the rancher, sell it to the farmer, sell it to big oil, sell it to, Joe Bob. And, and that's all well and good. Well, it's not, because we won't have any public lands to look at or to recreate. We won't have we won't have anywhere to go out and practice bushcraft, to hunt, to fish, to live life, to experience that freedom that we associate with this sport. Years ago, I was flying hawks, and stopped and asked this old guy. He had a bunch of property. I thought, well, there are probably a few rabbits on there, so I stopped in to ask him, and he really wanted to give me permission. But a couple years back, a couple guys were on there. One of them twisted his ankle and threatened to sue the old guy. And so he had a difficult time wanting to let me hunt, because some jackass wanted to sue him for being on his property. And we are living in a time where there's generations of people that don't take personal responsibility, and they will sue you, or try to, or threaten to, if they hurt themselves on your property or they do something stupid. And it's not your fault. You shouldn't be sued. You, as a landowner, are being gracious and letting that individual on there to hunt or fish or camp or whatever. And here they are taking advantage of that and threatening you for letting them on there. And so the problem with selling off public ground is it's going to go into the hands of people who are going to be afraid to get sued, who don't want you to go up there because you might tear up their land or burn it. And there's certainly a bunch of assholes that do that stuff. They tear up the ground and they burn stuff and they litter and throw out tires and trash, and they just do not take care of anything. And you start seeing places like here in Oregon, where we have a lot of logging where I'm from. We see the bigger companies. 20 years ago I could go wherever I wanted on the hill. Now they have gates up everywhere, and if you want to recreate on their property, you have to pay a fee. And for people like me, we don't always have the money on hand to pay a trespass fee. And whereas with public ground, we and access it for free, and get to live, get to do the stuff we like to do. Anyway, so you have Republicans and Democrats trying to give away our public ground, and these people, I don't think the federal government can afford to take care of it. So they want the states to do it, and the states definitely can't afford to take care of it because the federal government takes all the states' money. And so the states auction it off to the highest bidder, and then it is closed up to you and me, and we don't get to use it. One of the, well, we're kind of on this, one of the organizations that I belong to, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, they fight for your public land. And I'm going to put a link below in the video for their website, and I would highly encourage you to join them, to follow their progress, throw money at them when you get it. Your public lands, once we lose that, we're not getting it back. Once it gets sold to someone else in the private sector, you're not going to be able to access it. I even, I go Eastern Oregon, down places where there's just public land all over, and you'll be out in the middle and there'll be no trespassing signs, and some guy will own some property right there in the middle, and and he won't want you on his property, which is fine. But if we sell all that off, that's all you're going to see is no trespassing signs, and you're not going to be able to recreate at all. And so we need to think about that. And it's my solution is more wilderness areas. Wilderness areas, we don't really need to do a whole lot to maintain them. Just a road going up to the area, and you just have it blocked in, and limited, no roads through the wilderness, and you go in and you live kind of primitively, and I don't see where it costs that much tax dollars to run. But people piss and moan about that because now we're not logging, or we're not doing this, and we're not doing that, and they have to get out and walk because they're too lazy to walk, and they got to have their four-wheelers and all that shit, and instead of just getting out and going for a hike and going on an adventure, they got to have all their electronic shit, and so it's a hard sell for some of that. National forests are great. They kind of log with it, but there's probably more than enough money coming out of the national forests to maintain the roads, and what little money they go into maintaining them. Problem is our government's wasteful, and they screw away our money somewhere else instead of using it to maintain those spots. And then we say, well, we don't have money. And all I know, people, is join the Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. Pay attention. If we get rid of our public lands and we turn them over, you're not going to have them. You're not going to have a place to recreate. You're not going to have a place to go and hang out, camp, without paying to play or without begging someone for permission. And so, to me, this is just absolutely essential when it comes to our freedom. It's absolutely essential that we hold on to this land. And, and this is my opinion. This is my thoughts, my thinking. I'm one vote just like you. I can call and hassle my congressmen and my senators just like you. So if you decide to comment on this, realize that I'm just one person. It's just my opinion. You're certainly entitled to yours. So we don't need a bunch of name calling in the comments below. And I'm probably going to expand on this here in another video coming up, talking about freedoms and stuff. And like I said, public lands gives you the opportunity to go out and just be free of the distractions from every day. There's so much out there to see, and if it gets no trespassing signs on it, you're not going to be able to lay under a juniper tree and take a nap. You're not going to be able to go up and see that waterfall you always wanted to see, or hunt elk in that canyon, or go just test your bushcraft skills somewhere. You're not going to be able to do that. So we have to pay attention. Anyway, I appreciate you liking and subscribing. We'll get some more videos out. Hopefully, I'll think about it a little bit more and be a little more articulate next time. Um, but I just wanted to bring that up, and you know, it's just a wonderful country we live in with just tons of freedoms. Uh, but we keep giving them away, whether it's Second Amendment rights or this right or that right or our public lands. You know, we you give that stuff away, it's hard to get it back if at all. So before we throw it all out there, let's think about it long and hard. But I thank you for watching my channel. We'll get some more videos out to you. You have a good day. Bye.